Before you even take a sip, that glass of wine in your hand, it's already telling you a story. It's speaking this silent language all through its color. So let's dive in and figure out how to listen, shall we? Think about it for a second. Long before the aroma hits your nose, way before the flavor even touches your tongue, it's your eyes that get the very first message. That color? It's the prelude. It's setting the entire stage for everything that's about to happen. So, the real question is, are you ready to actually understand what it's saying? Because every single hue, from the palest straw color all the way to the deepest purple, it's a clue. It's a piece of this amazing puzzle. All right, we're gonna crack this code together. We're gonna break down exactly what those colors mean and, I promise, turn you into a bit of a wine detective, just by using your eyes. So think of a wine's color as a visual map. Seriously, it's giving you all these little clues about where it came from, how it was made, maybe even how old it is. It's all there, guiding your expectations long before you even think about taking that first taste. And these are the secrets we're talking about, literally hidden in plain sight. A wine's color can hint at its age, the exact grape it's made from, the winemaker's personal choices, even its texture and its potential for the future. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, all of that, before you even take a single sip. Okay, so to really get this language of color, we have to go right back to the beginning, to the source. Let's think of the grape as the wine's fundamental DNA, right? And the environment where it grows, what we call the terroir, that's what shapes how that DNA gets expressed. It really all comes down to the grape's skin. That's what dictates the potential for color. So you've got grapes like Cabernet Sauvignon with these thick, dark skins just loaded with pigment. That's where you get those deep, intense colors. But then you look at a thin-skinned grape like Pinot Noir. There's just no way it can produce that same dark color. Instead, you get these beautiful, almost translucent ruby hues. Right. So if the grape is the DNA, then terroir is the environment that influences how that DNA shows up. And when I say environment, I mean everything. The soil, how much sun it gets, the altitude, the slope of the hill, the whole shebang. It's the unique signature of a place. And you can almost think of terroir as an artist. So grapes from warm, sunny places, think California, they get super ripe, right? They develop way more pigment, which means deeper colors. Now contrast that with cooler climates, like Burgundy. The grapes there ripen a lot more slowly, and the result is lighter, more delicate colors. See the difference? But hold on, nature isn't the only artist in this story. The winemaker's choices, oh man, they are just as crucial. They take that raw material from the vineyard and use their craft, their signature, to shape the final color and style of the wine. And for red wine, this is the key. It's a process called maceration. All that means is the amount of time the juice spends hanging out with the grape skins. The easiest way to think about it is like steeping a tea bag. The longer you leave it in, the more color, flavor, and structure get pulled out. Simple as that.
And believe me, winemakers have a whole toolbox of techniques here. You've got carbonic maceration, which gives you those light, fruity wines, or they could do a cold soak, which is a really gentle way to pull out vibrant color. And for those big, bold wines that are meant to age for years, they'll use an extended maceration to build up that deep color and structure. Every choice leads to a completely different wine in your glass.
Okay, so after fermentation is done, there's another huge decision that has to be made. Where does the wine go next? Well, a lot of the time, the answer is into a barrel. And believe me, that changes everything. Oak barrels, they kind of act like lungs for the wine. They let in these tiny, tiny amounts of oxygen over a long period of time. This whole process is called microoxygenation, and what it does is it helps stabilize a red wine's color, making it more permanent. And for white wines, that same process deepens the color, turning those pale yellows into these beautiful, rich golds. And that brings us to our final, and maybe the most poetic influence on color: time itself. You have to remember, a wine's color is a living thing. It evolves throughout its entire life in the bottle. It's like a visual clock. And you can see that transformation so clearly here. Young red wines, they're super bright, full of purple and ruby tones. But as they get older, that slow oxidation shifts the color over to garnet and brick. Now for whites, it's kind of the opposite journey. Those pale, sometimes greenish hues get deeper and deeper over time, eventually becoming golden and even amber. Okay, so we've basically cracked the code. Now it's time to actually put this knowledge to use. Let's talk about how you can start tasting with your eyes and really become fluent in this whole visual language. All right, here is a super simple guide, but it makes a massive difference. First, find some good natural light and grab a white background, a napkin, a piece of paper, whatever. Then, and this is key, tilt the glass. By doing that, you can see the color variation from the center of the glass all the way to the rim. And that rim, that's often where you're going to spot the very first signs of a wine's age. And here it is, your official cheat sheet. This is what connects what you're seeing to what you can probably expect in the glass. So, if you see a pale, straw-like color in a white wine, you're likely looking at something young and crisp. See a deep garnet color in a red? Well, you can probably anticipate a more mature wine with complex flavors. This is exactly how you make an educated guess before you even take that first sip. I just love this quote because it really sums it all up, doesn't it? The color is so much more than just decoration. It's the very beginning of the entire experience. It's the opening notes of the symphony that you're about to enjoy.
So here's my challenge to you. The very next time you pour a glass of wine, just take a moment, pause, really look at it, and ask yourself, what story is this glass trying to tell me? Because now you actually have the tools to understand the answer. Cheers to that.